Hey, I'm Sam. I'm 17. Everything in my life is regular, except for one tiny detail: I can read minds. My ability began to manifest when I was 16. At first, it was just whispers in the wind that weren't there, but soon I found myself drowning in the thoughts of others. The whole experience was pretty mind-boggling at first. I could answer tests before the questions were asked. I knew what my friends thought of me, and I could tell if a guy was into me. But as time passed, the novelty wore off, and the reality of what I could hear began to unsettle me. The hormonal urges of teenagers around me, the secret thoughts of friends, the hidden frustrations of teachers. I had an all-access pass to the private thoughts of people, and it wasn't as fascinating as it sounds. It was overwhelming, invasive, and often downright disturbing. One day during lunch break, I was sitting with my best friend, Lily. We were talking about a movie we saw over the weekend when suddenly her thoughts broke through.
I hope Sam doesn't find out about my crush on Jake.
My heart sank. Jake was my long-term crush. Lily, do you like Jake? I blurted out without thinking. She looked at me with wide eyes and stammered,
How did you...
I heard you thinking it, I said quietly, regretting my decision instantly.
What? That's crazy!
She laughed nervously. We were never the same after that. Lily distanced herself, scared that I'd invade her privacy. I felt terrible and lonely, but it was just the beginning. There I was, in a charming cafe on a date with Mark, a guy from my biology class. As he talked about his favorite band, his enthusiasm was infectious. I thought, this could be something good. But then, like a sudden unwanted radio signal, Mark's thoughts cut into my mind. His mental images were dirty and intimate, imagining me in ways that made my cheeks flush and my stomach knot. It was the polar opposite of our innocent conversation, and it felt like a slap in the face. I need to go, I spluttered, interrupting his story about a band concert. His eyebrows shot up in surprise.
Wait, what? Did I say something wrong, Sam?
No, it's not what you said, I replied, my voice shaky. I couldn't tell him it was what he thought. I need to leave. And with that, I rushed out of the cafe, leaving a bewildered Mark behind. A date that had started so promisingly was ruined by the X-rated movie playing in Mark's mind. It was another harsh reminder of the downside of my gift. I then began to hear things that were much worse. Dark secrets, lies, betrayals. It felt like I was drowning in a sea of negativity. School felt like a battlefield, filled with the unvoiced thoughts of teenagers filled with hormones, anger, and fear. Everyone wore a mask, and I could see right through it. My family was no exception. I learned things about my parents that no child should know.
I wish I hadn't married her.
My father thought one evening while looking at my mother. It broke my heart. Seeing everyone's true colors made me question humanity itself. Was there any good left in the world? That's when I met Ryan. He was a new student, quiet and withdrawn. I was apprehensive at first, but then something strange happened. Ryan's thoughts were calm, serene, and for the first time in forever, I felt at peace around someone. Ryan and I started spending more time together. I'd listen to his thoughts about books, nature, and his love for art. For once, I found solace in my gift. But then, one day I heard a thought that made my blood run cold.
Tomorrow I'll do it. I can't take it anymore.
It was Ryan thinking about ending his life. Panic washed over me. I didn't know what to do. I approached him the next day, my heart pounding. Ryan, we need to talk. He looked at me with surprise.
About what, Sam?
About you? About what you're planning to do. My voice was barely a whisper. Instead of reacting with fear, Ryan's eyes welled up. He stared at me for a moment, a strange mixture of shock and relief washing over his face.
How did you...
He stammered, his voice shaky. I can hear thoughts, Ryan, I admitted. Yours, everyone's. I hesitated before adding, and yesterday I heard you thinking about hurting yourself. The words hung heavy in the air between us. Ryan didn't say anything for a long moment. He just looked at me, his face pale, but his eyes were different. They were no longer distant and filled with a sadness that was too heavy for his young age. Instead, they were filled with... Was that hope? Slowly, Ryan began to talk. He shared about his mother's recent passing, his father's aloofness, and his feeling of isolation in this new town. He spoke of his despair, his sense of helplessness.
I didn't think anyone would understand,
he admitted, tears streaming down his cheeks. I may not understand entirely, I said gently, but I want to help Ryan. He nodded, wiping away his tears, a small, brave smile playing on his lips.
I think I'd like that, Sam.
We cried together that day, shared some of our deepest fears, and most importantly, he agreed to seek professional help, to confront his pain instead of running from it. This incident made me see my gift in a new light. It was a revelation. I realized that while my ability had shown me the worst in people, it also allowed me to peer into their hidden pain, their unseen struggles. It gave me the chance to extend a helping hand, to reach out to those who were screaming in silence. And that, to me, feels like a blessing. That's it. That was my story. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to not miss the next one. See you soon.